everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Motu Santkomo. This is a channel where we talk about fragrances and arts. Today I am very excited to share with you 3 fragrances I have in my collection. They are from the private line of Bvlgari House and they are from their Le Gemme collection. Today it's all about gems of fragrances. The House of Bvlgari, as we know, is really well known for their jewelry and basically their luxurious goods, their watches, their leather goods. And someone like Elizabeth Taylor is reputed for being basically having a love affair with jewelry from the House of Bvlgari. And so she's won some of the most iconic pieces of jewelry from that house. Those 3 fragrances are from the private line of the house that they call Le Gemme, which started since 2014. So all the fragrances from this house, Le Gemme, are inspired by gems. So as we could see, this is emerald, and this is lapis lazuli. And the fragrances are all presented just beautifully and elegantly in this antique amphory, like so sort of antique Greek vase. So just very beautiful. So the 3 fragrances are examples of Oriental fragrances done to perfection. So for those of you who may or may not know, Oriental fragrances use a lot of spices like incense and moss and resin. Oriental fragrances find their roots in the dawn of perfume's history. And they use some of the same ingredients they used when people first started making perfumes in what was known as the Orient, which really included India and the Arabia. Oriental fragrances tend to evoke essentially mystery and sensualities. So these 3 fragrances right here, what's interesting about them is that they are really taking 3 different approaches to Oriental fragrance. So the Lazulia is sort of a new take, a newer take on Oriental fragrance. So it is a floral Oriental, an Oriental floral. And so it is softer, but equally alluring. So if you don't like floral fragrance, but an Oriental floral is something else. You're not just getting pretty floral, you're getting an overture. The floral is used as an overture, but the fragrance is dense. It's equally alluring to any Oriental genre of fragrance. So this one, because it is an Oriental floral, it's just really one of the most beautiful fragrance I've ever smelled. It can be worn during the day. Typically Oriental fragrances, you wear them at night, but this one can be worn during the day, night, you name it, anytime, any day. Give me this fragrance. The nose behind this fragrance, I should say, is Daniela Roche, and she is a German perfumer. You know, she studied in La Sorbonne and then she went into perfumery, and she's known for putting out some of the nicest fragrances in terms of the softness and the beauty of the fragrances. I've talked about Tiffany Eau de Parfum. She's made that. She's made Miu Miu. Those are just very beautiful fragrances. And she's made Prada Candy. Just very fun fragrances. So here, you can still feel her signature in terms of really this soft touch. But so the perfume opens up, you know, in this world of white flower. And so the opening top note include jasmine and other white flowers, and the center note, true to its being an Oriental fragrance, the center note is sort of this balsamic hot notes blend of incense. And then the base note is this deep woody base note that leave an impression of having wood. So the jasmine creates this overture to this incense and wood composition that's just very beautiful. It's like holding a cup of happiness and peacefulness, because perfumes with flowers in them that tend to give, especially white flowers, that tend to give a soothing feeling, and the wood tend to give a sensation of mystery, and the incense in a fragrance tend to give this sort of sexy smokiness to it and some form of passionate feel or vibe. So what you have here is this cup of white flower peacefulness and the incense and the wood. So it's a cup of peace and passion and mystery. I'm just so in love with this fragrance. It's not even funny. So the Lapis gem, as you know, all those fragrances are around the gems, and Lapis Lazuli is clearly, as you can see, a blue gem. And the Lapis Lazuli is sort of a gem that's known to be a gem of nobility and spirituality. This gem that it is centered around is known for being a source of energy, and that a stone of freedom, of wisdom, of intuition and truth. The lapis lazuli is really seen as a powerful crystal for people seeking to deepen their connection with themselves. And basically the liquid inside this beautiful blue lapis lazuli inspired fragrance really captured well the gem and is really in compliance with the character of the lapis lazuli. The second one is Veridia, and Veridia came in 2018. They launched it in 2018 as part of a collection that had other fragrances as well. And this one is centered around the emerald gem. And of course, we know emerald is reputed since time immemorial to have a lot of mystical qualities. Emerald is known to enhance your connection with your heart chakra. It brings peace and balance and compassion into your life just simply by wearing the stone. That's one of my favorite stones. I'm not sure if it's real, but that's the emerald stone. It reputed to bring calmness and stimulate, and has a stimulating effect, and that keeps your mind sharp during long days of work. So the emerald also symbolizes love, not necessarily romantic love, although it could be part of it, but divine love, that's for your fellow human. And so it's really a stone to heal your heart and bring the best in you. And the emerald is also known to conjure up wealth, riches, and opulence. So this perfume right here is all about conjuring opulence. In fact, the perfumer, who is a very well-known perfumer, and his name is Alberto Morillas, and he says that this perfume was inspired by the Byzantine emerald garden. And I'm tempted to go into the history, but without going into it, the Byzantine was really a powerful civilization, and that studied since antiquity and lasted for a very long time, all the way to modern ages. So the perfumer says that what he tries to do is capture the luminous and intense green of the emerald in a garden, in the Byzantine imperial gardens. And those gardens were known for having those incredible mosaic. There were some of the first garden with those beautiful waterfalls. And so in terms of how the perfumer was able to convey this beautiful Byzantine emerald green lush garden, this fragrance is an Oriental woody green fragrance. So the top note is Angelica. So that's a green note that gives a stimulating and uplifting quality to the fragrance. And galbanum is a type of resin from a tree, and that's been mentioned since antiquity. I mean, in fact, galbanum is mentioned in the Bible, you know, as part of the ingredient that people made incense with. And yes, I did Google that. It's in Exodus. So it's very aromatic. And the middle note is centered around frankincense, which gives it a very cozy feel, because as we know, incense is something that we use in meditation, etc. So you have this juxtaposition of green note and then the frankincense, which is very cozy. And then the whole thing is rested on a very deep base of vanilla and patchouli, which makes it very spicy. So this juxtaposition is done to incredible effect. And I've come to appreciate this Angelica sort of lead fragrance a lot, because there is this Angelica fragrance that's Angelique Noir, and it's from the private line of Guerlain. And this one, you know, it is nice, but compared to this Angelica opening, this one is so much more mysterious, so much more balanced. The Angelica is really tempered and married to an incredible effect that gives it a lot more mystery, and which is not surprising given the wealth of history that the perfumer was trying to capture, you know, through this representation of a Byzantine imperial garden. Now, last but we have Erea. And this one is inspired by a stone called agate. And we actually got a tons of those yellow stones when we went to visit, when we were in Egypt. But these stones, according to ancient traditions, are known to offer protection. They exude inner peace and energy. And the name Erea for this fragrance is also a Greek word that means Irene, and that means peace. So this fragrance right here is a spicy Oriental in the very traditional sense of it. And that means it's very warm, it's very addictive, it's very feminine. The top note is green cardamom from Guatemala. The hot note is incense from Somalia. And the base note is vanilla absolute from Madagascar. And so these are the three most expensive spices in the world, saffron being another one. So the perfumer again is Alberto Morillas, and this fragrance, you know, although it is all around peace, it definitely feels peaceful. But make no mistake about it, it's not the type of peacefulness that you really want to curl up in a sofa and watch Netflix, because this is a hell of a powerful and extremely sophisticated fragrance that really lend itself to evening and going out. I see really a powerful, confident, rich woman feel to this fragrance, which I featured in one of my videos about how to smell rich. This fragrance is all about just creating an incredible impact. Interestingly, the vanilla base that it has, and it reminds me of this fragrance, Emerald Rain by House of Sillage, because this fragrance also began with cardamom and it has vanilla. But this is the mother of all cardamom and vanilla you know, because this vanilla right here is very sweet, so this is very soft. But this vanilla is a little bit bitter. I guess depending on how you make vanilla in fragrance, it can lend itself to being bitter and just not very soft and sweet. So, and not powdery. So this fragrance, what was interesting about it is the minute you spray this fragrance, it just diffuses, just diffuses this richness, like tentacles that just expand and just invade the space in the most beautiful way possible. And it just lasts forever. It's heavy. So for the ultimate Oriental experience, not for the faint-hearted, but that's Erea from the Le Gemme collection 2020 limited edition from the house of Bvlgari. So that's all I have for you on the fragrance side. I hope that I was able to share with you my thought on those three cases of an approach to Oriental fragrance, which is one of the most alluring genre of fragrance that if you're looking for some form of sensual and warm and very expensive feel in fragrances, these are it right here. So the artwork is by an unknown artist, but it is one of my all-time favorite, because as we can see here, it's just a very beautiful artwork, and it is ever changing depending on the space and how the light diffusions reflect upon it. And I thought it matched pretty well the theme of those beautiful gems of fragrances. So hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye.